And then to confirm the appointment of Mario Rinaldi to the Plan Commission for a one-year term ending April 30, 2022. So that's what I would ask for a motion to confirm.
I will make a motion to confirm Mario Rinaldi to the Plan Commission for the term expiring April 30th, 2022.
Is there
I'll
a
second the motion. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item, I thought about putting it in my report, but I wanted to make it a agenda item just so it was on an agenda. About a year ago, the board authorized me, the village president, to discuss, negotiate with the village of Mukwonago a cooperative agreement. That cooperative agreement would cover things like extension of sewer and water into very limited portions of the town, if necessary, and perhaps straightening out our jagged border with them for the more efficient delivery of services, and that jagged border is down off of Edgewood Avenue. And we met a year ago with the village president of Mukwonago and their lawyer and myself and our attorney, John Macy, and we quickly met an impasse because they were interested in detaching land from Vernon in exchange for basically nothing, and they were not interested in any extension of their village's sewer and water system into our village under any circumstances unless that property was detached in the Mukwonago. And so that's where it started and ended a year ago. Recently, a developer, and this is going to come to the Plan Commission next month, and it's going to be a joint meeting, is interested in property off of Edgewood Avenue that's partially in Mukwonago and partially in Vernon. And so it came up again to see if he could get sewer and water to the entire property and detach it. Of course, the village of Mukwonago said, yeah, detach your property. I'm like, well, what's changed from last year? Nothing. So I said, well, there's no point in meeting. And so we never met. That was a phone call. So that's where we stand on that. So we'll see the proposal next month. They should be ready to go. It'll be very interesting. And unlike some of our Plan Commission meetings, you'll notice it'll be night and day because we'll have a very high-end developer come in and make a presentation. Well, you see the proposal, I think it is going to be sewer and water in Mukwonago, but then when the road hits Vernon, it'll be private well and septic. Yeah.
Oh, and the density factor, it's incredible. In the village of Mukwonago, it's little, and Vernon, it's nice.
Yeah, you'll see it's,
Nice.
yeah, nice in Vernon and 3 houses to an acre in Mukwonago
And
on the same street.
hopefully nicer development behind those storage sheds.
Right, it's down by the storage sheds off of VS, behind it,
Which-
north of Edgewood Avenue, or, sorry, east of Edgewood Avenue, because Edgewood Avenue kind of curves north there.
It's behind the
Yep.
storage sheds, yeah.
Behind the storage sheds and the condos down there. Right.
Which the town did turn down 7 times. Those storage sheds, 7 different developers, the town turned down because they didn't want to see that there. So they just annexed and got their storage sheds.
And we got blamed. And we get blamed. People called me and blamed Vernon. When I was Vernon town chair, I'm like, what the? Because I just was elected. I'm like, what's
Right.
going on? I'm like, that's not even in Vernon. Yeah.
And
So
it's-
that's all gonna be in September. It'll be a subdivision.
Not in Vernon, it won't be sewered,
Right. The part in Mukwonago will be sewered and watered.
just like it is now.
Just like it is now, just like the condos are, just like the apartments are, just like the subdivision across the street is. It is what it is. I'm not gonna agree to detach, after working so hard to become a village and stopping the annexations, we're not gonna, in my view, I will never allow detached property without something being detached back into Vernon. So,
At least you met.
yeah, well, we met a year ago and then we talked on the phone. There was no real reason to meet. I didn't want to pay Macy to go down there, and quite frankly, I don't think he wanted to pay his lawyer either. But, you know, if they would change their view, that would be different, you know? If they would have changed their view to extend sewer and water, then we'd have a decision to make as a board. Do we allow that into the village of Vernon for this particular subdivision? Maybe we would have, maybe we wouldn't have, but they're not even willing to do it.
To answer your question originally, though, whether the whole subdivision could be done sewer and water, but still maintain some in Vernon, some in Waukesha, the answer is yes, if both municipalities agreed to do it.
Right. It's not even a decision on our part because they're not gonna do it. So there's no decision to be made. It's just, that's why it's on as a report. There's no motions, there's no nothing, there's no decisions. It's subdivision. Yes. Right, they punched it, they put the pipe underneath the river.
As soon as Jane Krogstad's property
Yes.
sold, that would never go to, never.
Right.
I was on the plant, it'll never go to McGuan, never.
Yep.
Never have sewer. Surprise! Never, never.
Never. Yeah, as soon as they put the pipe underneath the river, it was like, you just knew it was gonna happen. We'd lose more and more to the village of Mukwonago. Nope. So it's, that's, people say, how is the village of Vernon working out? We get benefits, we are already enjoying the benefits. Immensely.
If anybody comes with storage sheds again, now we can say no and not worry about it.
Right. So that's the report. So now we're on to correspondence, announcements, and reports. I suppose I can continue with the rest of my report, and then we'll go to the trustees. The We Energies outages, that affected Vernon residents. I know I received phone calls from frustrated residents to see if there's anything Vernon could do. That's really in the purview of We Energies, and they were prioritizing it, but I think everybody in Vernon was back up and running, I think by Friday, maybe even Thursday night. Big Bend didn't, but Vernon did. Yeah, right. So, that was good. The storm damage itself, I think, our DPW director indicated, well, he was picking up this week, wasn't he, or not? Yeah, he was picking up storm. And he'll be picking up until tomorrow, to the extent we're back and anybody's listening.
Bring it in tomorrow till 3 o'clock. Drop off?
Drop-off is available
So
tomorrow.
they have been allowing drop-off,
Oh, yes, always through the store. And we had a lot of people drop off.
because I've seen trailers come in, I said, well, I hope John's around. I didn't know what they were doing for sure,
Yeah.
but it,
So pickup and drop-off is continuing. And it was hit and miss in Vernon, some people didn't have very much damage and other people had a big tree down in their yard. Village of Waukesha Shared Service, as indicated earlier, we did meet on August 16th. We do have another meeting, I should have my book out before.
The 30th?
The 30th, right? In the meantime, that's shared services. In the meantime, the Village of Waukesha Fire Department and the Village of Vernon Fire Department are meeting tonight. The meeting is ongoing right now.
Just their
Command staff,
command staff.
Right.
That's what I was looking for, was the term.
not the whole departments, but the command staff. And the board, you know, knows, well, we're going to the closed session if we need to, but the board knows what's going on there. And the possibilities exist that we could combine departments somehow, but it's very preliminary. A Village of Big Bend Shared Services, Jim and I are meeting on Tuesday, August 24th. And we're getting an agenda together. You'll see it posted, and it's getting seemingly longer and longer. Jim smiles, because we have items to talk about, and it's just a committee, so obviously the committee can't make any decisions. Whatever comes out of it goes to the board for ultimate approval, but we have items outstanding, including contract for fire services, fire and EMS with them. And that is my report. We'll go to Trustee Slani.
Thank you. First, I'd like to send, on behalf of the board, our condolences to Darlene Johnson. Her brother Thomas got killed out there on the expressway in that accident with the semi, and 2 other cars were involved. Unfortunately, their whole family had a reunion scheduled for this weekend, Saturday, because her mother, that's her birthday, it's her 90th birthday this Saturday. So they're all meeting together, but in a little, well, like Darlene said, it'll be a celebration of life, both for her mom and for her brother. So that's kind of sad. Next thing is on the municipal court issue, all the documents that were required are in, and we're still expecting approval by the 1st of September. Now, I haven't heard back from Rhoda. I asked her to call me as soon as she hears from the judge on the approval of, the whole concept of adding us to the municipal court, the existing municipal court. So I haven't had that phone call yet, but we still anticipate that happening. I have a meeting next weekend, or the committee for municipal court has a meeting next weekend on the 26th in the evening to do the budget for the following year. Now, when I say to do the budget, it's not going to be as bad as our budget process, because the judge actually does the budget, and then he gives it to us completed, and then we just approve it, assuming, potentially with changes. I haven't been through that process with him yet, but it's not that big of a deal, And then last thing.
And we're anticipating that the fee assessments on tickets will cover
Yes,
the costs of running the court.
right.
So the budgetary impact on Vernon will be small or zero.
There'll be the 0 potentially positive. But that I still haven't quite gotten the details on yet, because just because I haven't, because I don't know. But none of the other municipalities that are in it ever pay anything, because their costs are all covered with what the forfeitures are. That in itself is okay. That puts us even with what Waukesha was doing. But because there's a certain amount that should be coming back to us that we don't get with Waukesha, that's the advantage to going with this separate court. I'll have better answers on that after I attend one of the budget meetings. And then lastly, on our agenda packet area is the 3 manuals that I need you all to review. And if you want them printed, then you need to contact Karen and let her know that you want a copy printed. Now, the 2 of the manuals are like 60-some pages. And the 3rd manual, the safety manual, is like 30 pages, So there's like 150 pages or so, so you're not gonna read it all at one sitting probably. And if you do, you won't be awake by the time you get done with it. But I don't know when we'll fit it on the agenda to actually sit down and review them. So you may be better off, yeah, submitting or doing it on paper, where you can make your notes, and either we talk about them during our board meetings piecemeal, one manual at a time. I don't know how we'll do that for sure.
Maybe a special
Or-
board meeting.
Yeah. Like the safety manual, you'll just breeze through and say, okay, fine. It's not rocket science, and it's just common sense stuff. The other two manuals leave a little bit more consternation that you need to think about and question, so that we can make whatever changes are necessary. Now, it hasn't gone to our labor attorney yet. Usually we do that after we've reviewed it, just like we do with, stuff we send to Macy. And I assume at least two of the manuals will need to be sent to MARSIC, and maybe the safety manual doesn't have to. It's pretty much a standard boilerplate. I didn't write any of it. I just kind of copied and pasted from existing manuals that are out there. So there'll be more to come, but it's out there. Take a look at them, and then let Karen know if you want to have it printed off, or if you're going to print it off on your own computer or whatever. But it's a fair amount of paper.
Would be happy to review your safety manual if you want them to.
Oh, that'd always be okay, fine too.
Yeah, that'd be,
I'll just,
That's
as a cursory, just send it to,
yeah.
okay.
that would be good. And how many years in progress, have we been asking Karen for a revision of the employee manual?
In 2013, I laughed. I thought it was a joke. The employment manual.
Yeah.
And I could tell you stories that would have happened with the employment manual since 2013, but I commend you, Jim, and Marie, for,
You have seen it, but like I say, it's a work in process. There's no pride of ownership on this one. A lot of stuff in it. And that is all I have, sir.
Thank you. Trustee DeGray.
Thank you. First of all, just want to mention again the creeper that we had in the subdivision, and just make sure that people know that there's somebody around kind of stalking or breaking into places. We're not sure what his intentions are. Keep your doors locked and be safe.
Was he arrested?
They haven't found him.
Oh, I thought you said they found him underneath the patio.
That's when he was confronted, and then he took off running. And the
Okay.
police were called. So the sheriff's department was called, and then they were driving by with flashlights, but he was obviously in the woods. So, but he's out there. Second thing, I did have a call from a resident, and I believe that the resident also contacted a few other trustees concerning their assessed value as far as their lot size. Caused the family a lot of embarrassment and a lot of problems. The first offer on their sale was canceled, and the buyer said that they were misrepresenting the property. Looking into it, their property has been assessed at 1.45 acres for over 34 years. And the actual size of their property is 0.781 acres. When I talked to the Waukesha County Register of Deeds, there's a calculation that they do, and it is listed now for the last couple of years that it's 0.781 acres. However, the assessment from Our assessors has been at 1.45 acres, and they just recently changed that. Obviously, there's probably not a lot the family can do to go back and collect any, get reimbursed for any taxes. They recognize that without a lot of hassle going through the state. However, they did go through a lot of embarrassment, and therefore they're just wanting to let residents know, check your assessments, check your tax bills. They were told by our assessor that it was probably just a visual measurement, and to be off by twice as much is not good. So I just wanted to report that. Other than that, I have nothing else to report.
Thank you, trustee.
Just a
Yep, sorry.
follow-up comment on that.
Yep.
This is one that I wanted to bring up at our staff meeting, just because she's also contesting bills from our attorney and our planner.
No, this is not,
Yes, it
this
is.
person.
Yeah, I think so. But because neither one of them gave them answers, and yet they got billed for no information. So I wanted to bring that up. She mentioned your name. So I'll bring it up during our
Okay.
staff meeting, just for a follow-up on what our real process is, procedure in that respect.
Okay, I did talk to that. She was an old neighbor of mine, so I did talk to her as well. So. About the property tax assessments.
Yeah.
And we all warn the residents over and over and over every year during open book what they should be doing. And we will do it again this spring.
According to her, it was just a total surprise.
Yeah, well, I believe that.
I mean, I never paid that close attention to it either. So,
Well, trustee Kumershak.
I have nothing at this time.
Thank you, trustee Dashik.
I would like to follow up on Dan's announcement of someone who is unauthorized in subdivision. If you do notice anyone that doesn't belong in your neighborhood, on your property, at night, late at night, don't hesitate to call the sheriff and have him come out and just look around and maybe confront this person and find out why they're there. So make the call. The other thing I'd like to make residents aware of is I just recently found out that, well, we are going out for bids on assessor services. If you have a home who, maybe you have an outbuilding that is badly damaged and in disrepair, you should actually contact your assessor and let them know that your property might not be valued as high as it's being assessed at because of that disrepair. So I didn't know that that was an option, and I'm sure no one else does either. Well, there was one in our neighborhood. It was terrible, and so
You
it
had a
was
house
being
a whole house like
the whole house, and so I'm sure it was being assessed for years at the same value, and the owner never reported that it had bad damage inside. I don't know if they had a fear of reporting that, but they wouldn't have been able to be assessed that high because the house wouldn't have been valued that way.
right. Couldn't have been sold for anywhere close to the valuation.
No way.
Anything else?
No, that's all.
Thank you. And these property tax things will be, the best time to remind everybody will be next spring, open book, and we'll do that. Maybe that we can talk to on the RFP process about maybe some public education, things the new assessor could do for us. So keep that in mind.
Might be able to put something in the,
Newsletter, yep. Every time, no, you do. Every spring.
Bigger print, maybe.
Okay, so Waukesha County Sheriff, we had their report earlier, Treasurer's report. You saw the investment and July 2021 financial report. Just so everyone knows, I did send a note over to Terry about moving funds from the LifeQuest account into our main account because the interest rate is 3 times higher on our main account. And to, and I know we've talked about this at the board level with Terry, maybe developing a procedure whereby, you know, as a checklist item, once a month, he can look at that and transfer it. Yeah, I'm sure he will.
I would also like to request that we take the time at one of our meetings to go over one of the reports. Now specifically, in fact, I think last month I mentioned that I wanted to see the percent of budget utilized per month type of thing. And you have that in one of the budgets, one of the reports. And the numbers don't work mathematically, and I'd like to kind of go through what they,
Next finance meeting, we should do it at a finance workshop
okay,
because, you know, we'll do the rec director is up. And then hopefully if we have some time.
Oh, then we might
can
have
go-
time.
We can go through that.
because I can't make the numbers come out the percentages. And some of the columns, I'm not certain what it really means. When you look at the title versus the number that's in there. So I'd just like to get some confirmation on that.
Journal entries for July, so that'd be a good time. Your Park and Rec is nothing like a
Nothing
fire
like the
department
fire
report. And you do have your Park and Rec information. That's what Mike will go over on Tuesday. But then I'll run those and I'll email them to you too, and run paper copies for July, so you can talk about that on Tuesday.
Okay, clerk administrator.
The only thing I have lots of things, but the only thing that's critical is that the village board starts thinking of who's writing what articles for the newsletter. And if the next agenda, if you can do a timeline of when you want it out, we need to know. That's it?
Okay. And we have a staff meeting coming up next week, so that's one thing we can maybe settle in on at a staff meeting. Finances, accounts payable, August 19th, 2021. And then we have a little blue sheet here
For the Geiger award check
for the Geiger.
that's voided.
For the Geiger, okay. Oh, all right. I had a question on that, so it's voided. Okay. I won't ask my question. So we are looking for a motion to approve batch 2012089 in the new amount of $18,215.21. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yes, I have a question on, have you gotten or applied for Alex's charge card?
Oh, we're in accounts payable, not yeah, that's a credit card application or.
Okay.
Sorry.
And the other thing I have is a question on petty cash. What do you use petty cash for?
Recreation and wood chips. It's really used for making change. There's no charges to petty cash right now.
So, what I'm thinking is when you like go to the post office and spend money, you know, to send out a thing, if you take it out of petty cash and then you have to reimburse petty cash, your name goes off of it. And then you don't have to worry about a extra 1099 or any of that stuff. It should stay in-house.
There is no petty cash in accounts payable.
Yeah, I'm not sure
I
where
don't know where you're
petty
coming.
cash is coming in the accounts payable, Marie.
There is no petty cash. In accounts payable?
Do I have to make that agenda? item
Yeah,
too?
if you want to discuss procedures on, our petty cash procedures, yeah, we can put it on an agenda item
Do it
or
at
put it in
staff or
a finance committee meeting,
Okay.
workshop as well.
Okay,
I'll make a note of it.
thank you.
Procedure, and what should we call it, Marie? Petty cash procedures? Petty cash procedures? Okay,
Did you want that on staff?
probably on staff or in a budget if we have time. You can put it on our budget workshops. If we have time, then we can get to it. If it goes really long, we'll just get it to the next week, you know. Use it as a little, it won't take long, but goes to internal controls as well. Petty cash, it's cash. So we have a motion made and it's seconded, I think. I forget who seconded it.
Jim did.
Jim did. Accounts payable?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Yeah, well, there's just one about the voided one.
One of the staff members processed a Geiger award, and then when I saw it, it's for his charge card, so you'll see it on the next APs. It's for Michael Zolecki.
Oh, it's on his charge card.
Yeah, yeah.
And it would be
We're waiting
double
for.
paid, it would be double paid if we sent him a
Yeah, and it
check.
doesn't go to Geiger, it goes to Capital One.
Oh, gotcha. It's a yes, okay.
Is it on the town's charge card?
No, he has a town charge card that he uses for his purchases for his rec department. Yeah, we couldn't process it because there's another charge on his charge card that we don't have the receipt for.
Ah.
And
okay,
it's
that
not
was
due,
The other reason I was.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, so this is really, what you see in our AP is really the receipt backing up a charge card bill.
that's correct.
And so we
Should have
can't
not been
send,
paid.
yeah, we cannot send,
Yeah, they've already been paid, so we're not paying them again.
right.
So that's why the check's been voided.
Okay.
And that will be part of his charge card submittal as soon as we get the second receipt, which we haven't gotten yet.
So these are like participation awards or something? 'Cause we
Yeah.
bought like 100 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because that happened to be one of the ones that I pulled out and was looking at pretty close. I didn't know about the other issue.
Well, he's here on Tuesday, so you can ask him about the expedited charge at the time. Okay, any further discussion? Otherwise, we'll call the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Manual checks?
There are none?
None. July 2021 ACH transactions. As I recall, I think these included the wire transfers out to American Depository, right? So they're big,
Yes,
larger than normal.
yes.
Now, where did I? I'm looking for the page for them. Here they are. Here it is. So we're looking for an approval of the ACH transactions in the total amount of $1,508,361.55 for July. There. Right. Because, right. Yeah, and I was gonna say what that number is. 1,395,000 was transferred into CDs by ACH.
To make more money.
Right, that's really, well,
It's an ACH transfer.
it's
all
an
those have-
ACH though, but yes, we did not spend $1.5 million. Okay. So you take, that's why I said that. So it's more like 113,000 that we actually spent. So do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? I'll second. Any discussion? Everybody follows with CDs, right? Okay.
Do we have a corresponding receipt or something with those CDs, or how does that work?
Yeah, we did get some receipts.
You'd have
It
to
is in the report?
ask Terry.
Yeah, Terry, I think, set at least a list out. I thought I saw receipts, yeah.
Okay.
He emailed one
Yeah,
after
he
the
ma-
packets were
Yeah,
done.
I got it. I just didn't,
Right, I matched the
Notice that
numbers. The
that was
first
in
thing
there,
I
that-
did was match the numbers.
yeah.
What I'd like to do is maybe work with Terry a little bit on getting a little better report, such that, hey, if we're approving, the ACH and all that type of stuff, to really understand what transfers are, as opposed to lumping some of this stuff all in at once. So I hope
Well, this would be the exception because this does not have, it was,
but if we're gonna be transferring money from LifeQuest into the main fund.
that won't be a,
stuff like that,
that will be a bank transfer. That's not an ACH.
It's just a transfer of one
One
from,
account to another. That's not an ACH. This is an ACH because it went to a different bank. Right? So. But maybe the point you're making is on the ACH transactions, if there's a particular one like this one,
it's still our money, so
Right.
therefore, it's not really an expenditure.
but that's not what we're not approving the expenditures per se. We're approving the ACH transactions, which is an expenditure, or it might not be. It could be an investment. In any respect, we're approving the transfer, or that transaction, I mean. So, yeah, of the 1,508,000, 113 is expenses, and the other's a transfer into CDs, 1,395,000. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We are, July 2021 financial reports in your packet to review. And then we are on to, no action needs to be taken there. We're on to letter E, True Green affidavit request for True Green to reimburse us for a stop payment fee. We paid True Green, they never received their check or lost it. If they did receive it, they're requesting a second check, but they can't guarantee that they won't process the first one if it comes in, simply because of their business practices. So, what did we do? We asked them to reimburse us for their stop pay, for our $35,
they'll do that,
and they'll do that,
or they have an alternative affidavit,
yeah, or an affidavit.
which if it would get deposited, they'd give a full refund
So we've
or
got
the
to,
$35.
so we're gonna stop payment, and they're gonna pay us our 35. But if the bank honors the check anyway, which
Can happen.
can happen, so Terry needs to be alerted for that check, and so do you.
Yeah, he
To look
knows.
for it, and if it does get cashed, then they are signing an affidavit saying they promptly pay us back.
Right. You could ask them for both. They'll do both if the board wants it.
Oh, I would say do both. Stop payment and then
Affidavit.
agreed to pay us.
Which
in the
they said they
event-
do.
In the event that the bank actually honors it.
They want to keep Vernon as a customer,
Yeah,
but as the president stated, because of their business practices, checks go all over the country.
right.
So they'd gladly pay the $35 stop payment fee, and/or if, for some reason, which does happen, checks do get cashed after, if there's a non-payment, they'd refund
How
them.
will we catch that if they cash? both?
Because, yeah,
Because that check should be voided,
yeah, yes,
or it is voided. Missing
Right.
or lost, you void the check.
right.
Right.
And then Terry keeps all those checks. But Dan's right, as soon as the bank rec would come up, Because that has happened, not for this kind of money, but $30 here, 40, and the bank apologized, and it's on the bank to get the money back, and they do.
So we are looking for, what, a motion to,
Approve their affidavit and
and
accept the,
reimbursement of the stop payment fee. Both, and. So I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Board minutes.
the change ones are in front of you.
Right, I had a few changes. I sent them, pretty minor changes. I think Karen's made them, or staff has made them. That would be August 5th. I didn't have anything on August 12th. We'll start with August 5th for a motion to approve the village board meeting minutes as of August, for the August 5th, 2021 meeting. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we're on to August 12th. I'll make a motion to approve the August 12th, 2021 Village of Vernon Board Meeting minutes. Is there a second? Yes.
It's in your packet.
Yes, one page. Mostly trustee Dan DeGrave discussed. Right, that's all you did. No action was taken on any item, so
Did you make the motion?
I made the motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next village meeting dates, village board, we're into September for our regular board meeting, September 2 and 16. Plan Commission, that would be a joint one, as mentioned earlier, with the Plan Commission and the village board, principally because of the conceptual approval for this new subdivision that's going to come on our docket. That is September 8th. All those meetings are at 7 o'clock right here in person at Vernon Village Hall. We've got board and our staff meeting next week, Thursday, August 26th, 1 p.m. And then our finance workshop, continue August 24th and 31 at 9 o'clock in the morning and in September 7th. And those are Vernon ones. We do have, I don't know if I mentioned, but we do have a joint review board for our TIF district with the board via Zoom. You can join via Zoom if you'd like. That is 11:30 on August 26th.
And board members were notified of that notice?
Yep, you've already, been notified, so. That's open to the public via Zoom as well. So we will, I'm just thinking out loud before I try to make a motion, if we really need to go into closed session. We approved the agreement.
You don't need to.
Well, we don't need to. I kind of gave a report of what's happening, which wasn't much,
You can just adjourn.
unless someone thinks we need to go into closed session.
I don't know if we need to.
Oh, that should have came up under report. This is,
Pretty in the future, but put it, just make your report, add it to your report now.
yeah.
Go
this
ahead,
is the-
Jim.
We'll deviate and go backwards.
It's just notification, the state, whenever they're doing any type of road work in the future, they should always, and that didn't happen on the Guthrie Bridge thing, but these letters should always come out to the village board and engineering staff, whatever, to let them know of future projects on the freeways, county trunk highways, state trunk highways, what they're doing, when the anticipated work date is.
Do we put that on our website for the residents, or can we?
Well,
That's
maybe
not
when it
really
comes
a-
a little bit more firm and a little more closer to the future.
Definitive, so that public knows when something's happening.
First of all, this is the first time I've seen one of these, at least.
You know why? Because when I started this grant program for the bridge, I signed up for any notification, because we have found, the board has found that there's been things happening on the freeways, the state trunk highways, and the county roads that we're not aware of. And you as board members are gonna be the first ones to hear people ask you questions or ask for us to have something on the website. So, from in the future, like I said, this is not projected to 2025. But the nice thing too is when the engineering starts or the public comments, some people would really like to be involved in the public commenting on engineering projects. So that's why
Okay,
you're gonna get them in the future.
that'd be good.
That would be good. More information is always better.
Yeah, you don't have to participate, but at least you know what's happening.
Right. I just didn't know if that had to do with the, because I didn't read it. It was in the packet for tonight, it was in my mailbox.
Right.
I thought it perhaps had something to do with the TV, or what's the TV, with the antenna, or new tower, additional towers.
Yeah, not yet. They're still working on it,
They're
Jim.
still working on that, okay.
Right, and the letter regards the Rock, so everyone knows, the Rock Freeway, I-43, State Highway 164 to Moreland Road, and they're doing field surveys next to the freeway. Environmental surveys, soil borings, where the utility locations. So if they're out there working, that's what they're doing.
Okay.
If you see trucks out there. And why we're still reporting, everybody should buy their post stamps too.
Yes, they're going up.
They're going up at the end of, well, before the end of August.
I just did my election budget. Now I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but 3 cents on each document.
Well,
3,000 residents.
right.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, first-class postage rates are going from 55 cents to 58 cents. So buy them now. Buy forever stamps now.
That's on your report.
That's on my report. I thought maybe you were gonna say it. I forgot.
I'll put it on yours.
Okay.
Stamps are going up.
But I don't think now, does anybody think we need to go into closed session? Otherwise, we can go to adjourn, because we've passed,
You want to go into closed session?
the Village of Waukesha paramedic EMS agreement. And I kind of gave you during my report what's being talked about in our shared service. There's no action to be taken coming out of closed service session with regard to that. So it was put on the agenda in the event that we needed to do something, because we got to post the agenda a week before, and we had a meeting the following week on Tuesday, so I couldn't anticipate whether we had to do anything or not. So that's why it was on the agenda. Not to get any resident or board member excited about closed session. So I'm not going to make a motion, because I don't think we need to do it, but go ahead.
Is there something else happening on August 26th besides the staff meeting? Is there something happening in the morning?
He just said the
Yeah,
TIF
11:30, we have a joint review board for the TIF. So
meeting. You don't have to go to that.
you don't have to go.
That doesn't involve the board.
That
No,
does
but you
not,
can participate.
right. Yes, you can listen in via Zoom.
Oh, that's the Zoom. There you go. Now it's all.
Well, we're going to try and
It-
do it
we-
by Zoom.
No, we've been
in the
practicing.
event. We're doing, we may go to Zoom, who knows?
Oh, it's
Looking at the
so,
numbers.
it's so much easier than Microsoft
Oh, yeah.
Teams.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
Honest, Jim. I'm gonna Zoom you later.
I'm a Microsoft guy, so.
So unless someone wants to make a motion, we are going to skip 11. And we're not going to go into closed session, and we're not going to reconvene.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned.
Well, there's nothing. Those are
Oh, yeah, no, that's, yeah.